Hey, let's look at the last problem on the practice exam, number 12. Consider the following table from the GSS data we looked at in lab, asked only of people who are not currently married. Only look at the bold percentages for this problem. Okay, so this is going to be just like the GSS kind of lab assignment that we did in class, right? And we have the two variables. Do you consider yourself a feminist, yes or no? Right? And also, if the right person came along, would you like to be married, yes or no? Okay, so we have a bunch of tables related to this question. Before we answer any of them, though, we should probably try to figure out a couple of things. One, are we dealing with row percentages, column percentages, or something else like shadow percentages? Okay. If we add across the rows, 52 plus 58, it's more than 100, no good. 48 plus 42, not 100, right? So definitely not going to be row percentages. Columns, though, add up, right? You could also just look and see, we have 100 here, 100 here. Looks like we're going to have column percentages, which means that when we draw our pie charts corresponding to this two-way table, these column headings, yes, feminist, no, not a feminist, are going to represent our pies. Right? Now, normally we would dive right into the questions here, but since we have just kind of a much smaller two-way table than we're usually going to deal with, I actually want to take the opportunity to just go ahead and construct the two-way tables that are relevant to this question. Right? There's going to be two of them. We have a feminist pie, and we have a not a feminist pie. Let's go ahead and make those. So, feminist, not a feminist. Okay. And then if you are a feminist, yes, would get married. Right? That's a slice of the feminist pie. And no, would not get married. Okay. Same thing within the not feminist pie. We can create slices, a yes pie and a no pie, depending on whether you want to be married or not. Okay. And then within the feminist pie, we can actually put in some numbers, right? We see that of the people who said, yes, I'm a feminist, 52% of them said that they would get married if the right person came along. Right? Of the people who said they were feminists, 48% of them said, no, I would not get married, even if the right person came along. Okay? And then looking at the similar percents for not a feminist, we get 58 and 42. Okay. Let's go ahead and create pie charts for this. So highlight here, insert chart. Okay, this is the pie chart for feminists. Let's go ahead and add that in the title. That should be under here. Okay, so feminists. And then we can make also a table for the people who do not identify as feminists. So insert chart. Okay, very nice. So you don't have to construct these, and you might not have when you made this problem, but I just think it makes it, if possible, since we have such a small table, let's go ahead and construct these, right? And this might actually make things a little bit easier for us, right? So within each of these pies, we have blue slice being the people who said, yes, I would get married if the right person came along, and red slice being, no, I would not. Okay, so now let's look at the questions that are asked of us. What percent of feminists say they would like to get married, or can you not tell from the table, right? So in order to answer this, let's actually just go over to our tables. What percent of feminists, right? So that means that we need to look at the pie for feminists, right? Here it is, okay? What percent of them say they would like to get married? Right? Well, here's the yes, I would like to get married slice. That's 52%, right? So there's our answer, 52, oops. 52%. Let's actually put it right here. Okay, part B. I need to stop doing that. What percentage of people who say they would not like to get married are feminists, or can you not tell from this table, right? So when we read any of these questions, we need to figure out what's the pie that we desire, right? Up here it was feminist was the pie, right? Here, what percent of people who say they would not like to get married, right? So we need a pie of people who would not like to get married, And we don't have that pi, right? So we can't actually answer this question, right? Because we don't actually have that pi here, right? It's asking about this row right here, but we're not dealing with row percentages. So this is not a question we can answer, right? So we'll go not answer. Excellent. Okay. Are there more feminists or non-feminists who would not like to get married? Or can you not tell? Explain your answer. So this is a little bit, this is a raw counts comparison, right? This is not a percent comparison. We're not comparing between two pies. We're actually looking inside one pie, right? In order to see whether there's more feminists or non-feminists, right, within a particular pie, I need to have a pie that's broken up into a feminist slice and a non-feminist slice. And I need to see which slice within that single pie is bigger. Okay, so let's look over here. Okay, so neither of these pies are broken down into feminists or non-feminists, right? So that means I can't look at just a single pie and see which one has more, right? This is a raw count comparison comparing feminists and non-feminists, and I don't have a pie that's broken down by that, right? So I actually can't answer this question. Okey-doke. Let's bold these. Okay. D, are feminists or those who are not feminists more likely to say they would like to get married, or can you not tell from the data? If you can, how much more likely? All right, let's stick with the first question first. Are feminists or those who are not feminists, right? This is going to be some kind of percent comparison because we see the word more likely. And the two groups we are comparing between, the two pies, are feminist pie and not feminist pie. And that is indeed the two pies we have here. So we are actually going to be able to calculate this, right? So which group is more likely to say that they would like to get married? Okay, so basically which of these pies has the bigger blue slice? And we see that it's going to be the non-feminists are going to be the ones who are more likely to get married if the right person came along. Okay, 58% versus 52%, right? So we'll go ahead and insert in here non-feminists. Okay. And there's a little follow-up question. If we can answer this question, right? How much more likely are non-feminists than feminists to want to get married if the right person came along? Okay? So this is going to be a kind of a percent change question buried inside a percent comparison to a table question, right? So let's actually come up with the framework for how we want to say this, right? We want to say a sentence something like non-feminists are blank percent more likely to get married if they meet the right person than feminists are, right? We need to fill in the blank here. The reason I wrote this whole sentence out first, though, right, is because we have two rules for percent change in terms of how we actually calculate that. We have the after the than rule, and we have the before the new and old rule, right? Here, though, we have the non-feminists are more likely to get married than feminists are, right? So remember, if we have the word than in one of these percent change sentences, then whatever comes after the than is going to be in the denominator, right? So let's go ahead and get the framework for the formula here. Let's insert equation. So percent change, the number that's going to go in the blank, right, is going to be the number that comes after the than, which is the feminist percent, right? So for feminists, right, their probability of getting married to the right person is 52%. We'll put that on bottom. Okay. And then for non-feminists, it is 58%, right? And that is all minus 1. Let's see what we get here. 58 divided by 52 minus 1 should be 0.11 5, 4, about like that throughout. Right? So non-feminists are 11.54% more likely, right, to get married than feminists are. Right? And that's our solution for that one. Last one. Are those who say they would like to get married or those who say they would not like to more or less, would not like to, more or less likely to be feminists, or can you not tell from the data? Okay, this is another more likely percent comparison question. We need to be comparing between two pies, right? The pies that we would like to have to compare between, right, the two groups that we're comparing between, are those who would like to get married, those who say they would not like to get married, right? So I need two pies, one with a heading of would like to get married, the other with a heading of would not like to get married. We do not have those pies, right? We just have the feminist pie and the non-feminist pie, okay? So this actually is not answerable. Okie doke. And that's it for this video. And that's the last problem. So congrats on being done with the practice test. And I'll see you later.